Hello, this is Breakfast with Bill Turnbull and Susanna Reid.
A shake-up in social care, but there's no decision on how to pay for it. Good morning, it's Wednesday the 11th of July.
Also ahead. And bring your baby to work. More companies are introducing it as a policy, but is it a recipe for chaos with your colleagues?
And Matt has the weather.
Good morning. First, our main news. Pensioners in England will be allowed to apply for government-backed loans to pay for care home fees under new plans. This will mean they won't be forced to sell their own homes while they're alive, although the fees will have to be paid back at a later date.
But to the disappointment of campaigners, there will be no firm commitment on how to reform the funding of the system. The government says the amount people pay for their long-term care should be capped. A decision on the level of that cap won't be made, though, before late next year. And we will be getting more on that from the Health Secretary, Andrew Lansley, in just a few minutes' time.
Now, 8:03, plans to turn the House of Lords into a mainly elected chamber have been backed by a majority of MPs. But David Cameron suffered his biggest backbench rebellion, with 91 Conservatives opposing those changes.
And earlier, ministers had to abandon a vote on a timetable for the bill. Let's get more from our political...
Police investigating the death of one of Britain's wealthiest women, Eva Rousing, have arrested a man who's reported to be her husband.
Mrs Rousing, whose husband's family founded the Tetra Pak drinks carton firm, was found dead at her home in West London yesterday, her death being treated as unexplained. The former Barclays chief executive, Bob Diamond, says he's dismayed at suggestions that he misled MPs when he appeared before a parliamentary committee last week. The
Spanish government will announce its latest round of cutbacks as it tries to tackle the country's debt. The Eurozone.
As large parts of the UK continue to be affected by flooding, there's a warning that the weather could get worse over the next 20 years.
Yes, the Committee on Climate Change says that 4 times as many homes and businesses could be at risk unless the UK prepares for more extreme weather conditions. The government says it's spending more than £2 billion on reducing flood risks.
Well, if you want to escape that weather and jet off on your summer holidays and then you fancy diving into a pool, here's one particular manoeuvre we wouldn't particularly.
As they come down that 27 metres of empty space.
And it's just been announced this morning by Chris Moyles that he is leaving the Radio
4, which makes it the longest-running Radio 1 breakfast show longest-running Radio 1 breakfast show DJ in the station's history. His successor is going to be announced at 10:30 this morning.
By Newsbeat. Yeah.
8:11 now, though.
And Matt will have the weather for us in about 5 minutes' time. When many elderly people move into a care home, they're forced to sell their own home often to cover the cost. But today the government's unveiling plans which would allow pensioners to apply for a loan to pay those fees.
That money, though, would have to be paid back by the family with interest. There's also criticism from charities and campaigners who say it's not clear yet where the money for those changes will come from.
Well, in a moment we'll speak to Miss Lansley. Is this in Scotland you can get free nursing care if you're staying at home? Why can't it be done in England?
8:90, still to come on the programme this morning. It's summertime, but nothing to sing about.
No,
Morning,
living
Matt.
ain't so easy.
It's the funniest joke I've heard.
Porgimbus. I don't know why I said Porgimbus. There we are.
Still sounds great. Farmers will be gathering in London later today to protest about cuts to the wholesale price of milk.
Steph's at a farm in Cheshire to find out what those cuts mean for the dairy industry and making a whole load of new friends. Making hay, actually, where the sun doesn't shine. Does a good job as a milkmaid, really, doesn't she?
8:23, thousands of people were set to enjoy a musical trip back through the 1980s with a pop concert in Hyde Park tonight, but guess what? The rain has well and truly put a dampener on things.
Yeah, the Hit Factory live concert, which was to be held in honour of Pete Waterman's been cancelled due to the bad weather.
And fans are going to be particularly disappointed because Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan were going to be reunited on stage for the first time in 23 years. Sadly, it's not the only event, though, of course. It's faced problems due to the soggy summer. Let's talk to Pete Waterman. The problem now, isn't it? You can no longer plan summer festivals with any kind of guarantee of dry weather.
And paid £4,000.
It's a heck of a price to pay.
I just want to ask, for those Kylie and Jason fans who have waited so long to see them together again, how much longer do you think they might have to wait?
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And Daniela, thank you for your advice this morning. Thank you.
You'll probably have better weather come the winter anyway. Just approaching 8:30. The BBC News Channel will bring you the latest news from home and abroad.
But here on Breakfast.
Time now, though, to get the news, travel and weather where you are. See you in a moment. Good morning. You're watching Breakfast with Bill Turnbull and Susanna Reid.
Our main story this morning, plans for the future of social care in England will be set out by the government later today.
Pensioners will be...
Those are the main stories this morning. Here's what's coming up later in the programme. I still just
I'm going to try
to
it.
think.
I'm going to try it, see what happens. Bring all 3 boys in. 6, 8 and 10.
That's not allowed because they're not babies. You see, you've got to be. This baby and toddler experiment does not bring all 3 of your children into work.
You'd rather have a baby in than you would a 10-year-old.
I would rather not. I'd rather have just you and Catherine here on the sofa.
I would too. I'm not sure I'd be keen about having the old baby
Running
on the
around.
floor down here, screaming whilst you're trying to work. Honestly, that woman, do you see that picture of her typing?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a particularly good idea myself.
Well, 39 fans of the Artemis Fowl books have followed the teenage mastermind through 7 epic adventures as he's battled high-tech fairies, power-hungry crime lords and time-travelling demons.
Now the best-selling series is coming to an end, and the final instalment sees Artemis face his biggest challenge yet. Of course it does. Its author, Owen Colfer. An end.
I know.
But why Artemis Fowl? Well,
Hey.
They just said, please change your mind, don't end it, we love Artemis. And,
I suppose, when was the first one written? 10, 11?
it's 2001.
And children can see what age a book would be. Parents should do that.
Well, I think so, because it's very difficult.
This file is coming to an end, but of course, a series of films
Yes.
maybe just about to begin.
Well, yeah, things have been really moving lately.
And Artemis Fowl and The Last Guardian is out now.
Here is a last look at the weather this morning from Matt. Morning. Hi there. Do you see that tomorrow?
Isn't there just, yes, with the weather. 8:48, George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess, one of the most popular modern operas traditionally set in 1920s America. The latest production by Cape Town Opera moves the action to South Africa in the 1970s.
Well, the show's already travelled the world, and tonight it opens in London. We're speaking to 2 of the people behind it. Director of the Cape Town male figure. Good morning to you both. Well, it's been moved then from Catfish Row, the American South, in the 1930s to Soweto in South Africa in the 1970s, which was its most troubled period when you think of the Soweto riots in the mid-70s.
That's true. I mean, I was born towards the end of, the end of the 1970s, and obviously
Remembers it, thinks they know about it, but I think the last time I saw it was about 20 years ago.
And Sakani, thank you very much. And I have to say, this is the best
Run in London at the Coliseum this evening.
So you have to hurry. Now, for new parents, this is 4 minutes to 9, new parents deciding when to return to work can be tough when you've had a baby. How about this for a solution? Take the baby to work with you.
You're not keen, are you? I keep threatening to do it. You don't want my boys coming in. Despite the tears and tantrums, a number of businesses, though, in America are doing just that. So could it catch on over here? One brave company has given it a go. Let's have a look. Oh, well, we have a doubter with us, businesswoman, former...
At the end of the day, we had triplets in the studio a few years ago, and they came on twice, and at 6:30 they're all quiet. And
how old were they?
Right. They were about 2 or 3.
Oh,
but when they came back on
Were
after
they
8 o'clock,
lovely?
they'd all woken up. And they ran around the studio. The floor manager, Roy, was chasing after me. It was chaos. So, not just yet here, I don't think.
If you're interested in seeing more on that story, the documentary is Babies in the Office. It's on BBC 2 at 7 o'clock, and it's on Monday and Tuesday next week.
Here, in a moment, though, Leo Sayer will be joining us.
Running around the studio?
Well, I'd be dancing the morning away.
First, here's a last quick look at what's happening where you are. See you in a moment. In the 70s, Leo Sayer made us all feel like dancing with no less than 7 hit singles. With his big flares, bigger hair, Leo took the charts by storm with songs like When I Need You and Thunder in My Heart.
4 decades later, he's still going strong and is getting ready to take part in a UK tour alongside 70s stars like David Cassidy and Hot Chocolate. We'll talk to Leo in a moment.
Was very, very strong, and also, it was an image that came from the French clown Pierrot, who's kind of very sad, moralising, that tells the story. Harlequin, his nemesis, is
Songs as we just were together. People will say, people of perhaps who came after the 1970s will think, that Thunder in My Heart, I've heard that recently.
yes.
Do you sing, you can tell us afterwards, do you sing this song? Here we go. Your age, to have such a remarkable...
The Once in a Lifetime tour starts on the 9th of November.
That is it from us for today. Charlie and Louise will be back tomorrow from 6. They'll be hearing from Rolling Stones' Mick Jagger and Ronnie Wood.
Wow.
The band celebrating 50 years in show business.
How many years are you celebrating?
4.
We're also going to be funny about BBC Proms with Katie Derham. Have a lovely day. Thanks for your company this morning. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.